But here, on the very rim of known space, justice is a long way away.
Hello, my friends. Sorry, I'm a bit not with it today. Hello, my friends. Oh, God, I can't even do that. Hello. Jesus Christ. We're off to a great start. Hello, my friends. And well, I feel winded. I don't know why I feel winded. To the Space Game Junkie podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining me, as always, is your co-host, Spaz.
How do you resurrect the dead, Lurian? With a Necromornicon.
What is that from? I know that. What is that from?
That's an original joke.
Nice. Also joining us is your co-host, Julie.
Hello from the Midwest, where none of the intelligence is artificial.
Midwest United States. They don't call other parts of they don't say Midwest Europe. You know, they don't say Midwest Russia.
I've never heard it Midwest anywhere else but the U.S.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Is it the Midwest in the middle, not even the West?
Right, there are reasons for that, though.
Yeah,
it's called the Midwest, but actually, where I am, it's more like the mid-north.
Yeah, but it's a colloquial name for a region. It's not like it's more of a.
I will ask Spaz after the podcast to explain the inevitable racism bit that caused it. Let's continue.
America, and finally, here goes Jacob.
Well, when you're good at something, sometimes do it for free.
Yeah. Thorsten can't join us this week. He's at some yearly festival he does this time every year. I don't know what it is.
10-day
it's touching grass, and we're all very happy for it.
It's a 10-day outdoor festival, I think, right? Something like that. Yeah, some kind
10-day festival, yeah.
Yeah.
Big thing.
Yeah, big thing in his area, apparently. He helps with it. So no Thorsten this week, sadly. He'll be back next week. This week, folks, we're going to talk about a topic that Julie came up with, actually. Free-to-play games. I don't think I think we've broached the topic on other shows, but we haven't really focused on it. So, Julie, what made you want to do this as a topic?
Well, aside from the fact that there was an extra credits all about it a long time ago. Hang on. I didn't want to cough in everybody's ear.
Thank you.
The deal is this when you go back to on the other podcast I'm on, show 100, back when mobile gaming was like the it thing. One of the people who said, go mobile or go home. But now when you talk about free to play, and this seems to be prevalent on mobile games a lot, but when you talk about free to play, as soon as I hear something is free to play, it's like, no, thank you. And I just turn it off mentally. But there are some games out there that I've played that are free to play that are done right, and some are very, very wrong. Like the mechanics, for example, those game companies that make it difficult to play on purpose without going to their cash shop. That's the kind of thing I said, this is disgusting. But when you're talking about a Standing Stone Games, who are the company that now owns Lord of the Rings Online, you can, if you have a kinship dedicated to this kind of thing, and I do belong to it. Shout out to Concerning Hobbits. Periodically, they all get together and they do the parts of the game where you can actually get their funny money and you can buy the next expansion with it. And
right.
I have never once had to pay for an expansion because of this, but there's ways to, and also I don't know who owns Star Trek Online at this point, but periodically throughout the years, they will about 3 or 4 times
Isn't
a
it
year.
still Cryptic?
No, it got sold. Cryptic sold it a long time ago.
Again.
For a while, it was 10 cents. I don't know what it is now. But the thing is, they'll give away the Uber ships of Uberness. So there are some mechanics that lend themselves toward being fair, and especially when you're talking about if you're talking about something that has a cash shop that's like a competition kind of game. When you have something it's pay to win, that also is like a game mechanic that really turns me off. But on the other hand, if you got Standing Stone says, yes, we will sell you a free bump to 150 or a free bump to 50 so you can go straight to this or that. Well, I don't care because there's no competition involved. And that's all what kind of started me down this road. And it was just something I added to that list of 30 plus spin the wheel topics.
Let's be clear about what we're talking about here. So when you're talking about these games, you're talking about games you can play for free but have some kind of buy-in mechanic, like you pay $10 for the full version. Are we talking about purely free games also?
Well, when you talked to when I read this, and I don't know how far back it goes, but they were talking specifically about free-to-play entirely games because, and some of the things they do in free-to-play games that were good and some that were bad, the kind of things, some of the things that were meant to say, well, we're going to depend on the whales to support us. And some people will say, for example, I know somebody, an acquaintance that paid $65 to get one of the Klingon ships in Star Trek because they just kept dumping those things.
But that doesn't, sorry, I apologize. That doesn't answer my question. Are we talking about games like you're talking about with a mechanic where you can buy stuff that you might get for free if you grind in the game? Or are we also talking about games that are just free, like absolutely free games? Are we also talking about those?
Yeah, because there is a huge difference between free games and free-to-play games.
Yeah. So
no,
they're separate things.
Not free to play.
Okay, I misunderstood because I misunderstood because I'm like, oh, Pioneer is free, right? I can use that as the back. No, apparently I misunderstood the assignment. I apologize. Okay.
Well, it was kind of your assignment, but yeah, that was the original intent when I got this from Extra Credits. Credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole idea, was not just getting
we're talking free to play games, specifically
free to play games, and some of the things that are fair, some that aren't. And in this particular case, had my acquaintance actually been willing to put in the work, he could have saved himself $65 and got the thing for free.
Right. So I want to talk about two things then. Because in my brain, I don't know why, if I see a game that's free to play on PC, like Steam, I avoid it. I don't touch it. I walk away from it. I'm like, no. But if it's on my tablet, gimme. I'm fine with it. Gimme. I don't know why. I don't know why though. I don't know exactly why. Like PC
marketing and expectations, presumably.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I have I hold PC games to a different threshold than mobile games, but mobile games are getting really, really good. They're like PC games from 5-10 years ago now, you know?
I think a distinction should be made between, for the purposes of the discussion, we make sure that we're defining whether or not a game is actually completely free or free to play for the purposes of the discussion, because there are plenty of free games that are on Steam that have no microtransactions whatsoever. There are some that kind of skirt the line of having cosmetics only that have no effect on gameplay. And then there are ones that go even further and go full on cash shop with pay to win mechanics and all of that other stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got to make sure which of those categories we're talking about when we talk about a game.
Right. Okay. So on the mobile, so here's an interesting question. There's a game I'm playing right now. It's like it's a Mahjong match game. It's great. It's completely ad supported. So I have to look at it. I can skip them, thankfully, but I have to deal with ads to play it. There's no option to buy the full version with no ads. There's no option to buy a no ad version. So because of that the ads being forced upon me, I guess that would also be considered free to play because you're not paying for the game, but you still have a thing to deal with to play it. You know what I mean? So that would probably also
It's still under free to play because some of those have ad supported and microtransactions as well. Some of them do.
Right. Okay, so that would probably
And others,
yeah.
yeah,
So that
others
would
I
would.
love the English language.
Awful, isn't it? Awful.
Yeah.
Through and through. Yeah, love English.
And y'all wonder why I gave up on my English studies.
Yeah, no, we don't. No, we don't. It's a crazy ass language. I completely get it. There, and there. Yes. Anyway, so okay. So can we think of, like Julie brought up, I think, what is a good example of a free to play game? Lord of the Rings Online is an excellent example of a free to play model because you can play that game for a very long time before you get to and not to steal your example, Julie, but I'm just thinking we should focus on, now that we've kind of defined what they are, let's talk about the ones that do it well, I think. You know what I mean? So Lord of the Rings Online is a great example because you don't have to do the VIP for that if you don't really want to. There's a lot you can still do without even touching the VIP. So yeah, that's a good example. Can you guys think of any other really good examples of a free to play game on any platform? Doesn't matter.
Star Trek Online would count, I would say.
Yeah, you can do a lot in Star Trek Online without paying a dime, right? It's been a while since I played, but
Yeah, not just that. There is the dilithium exchange where you grind for dilithium in game, and then other people who have bought the Zen, that's the currency you actually pay for, they sell that on the market.
Actually, I think they changed the name because with the owners change again.
oh
yeah,
But
right,
that's
right.
But we understand the concept.
Yeah, but you can use dilithium that you've grinded in game to buy that on the market in order to get that
other
currency
people.
from other people. So there is a market for that, and so there is a way to obtain ships, just like what Julie was saying. You could obtain ships that you would normally pay for by grinding in game that way, and that is absolutely an option.
right.
There are, and sort of a version of this, and bear with me. It's not meant to be free to play, but if you do it right, it can be free to play. And back before I got tired of being victimized and EVE Online.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And
EVE, I mean, has a very similar system where you can theoretically buy subscription off of other people for in-game currency.
Right. The problem becomes with that, though, it creates runaway inflation. And it does, it's like, whoa, I want a wrench. Okay, that'll cost $5,000, please. As an example. But there are some games that aren't intended to be free to play. There are some games that weren't free to play to start out with, but they become free to play. And one example that I played both on my PC and on my original Switch, and that was Fall Guys. It's just a fun little kind of game where you get together and a bunch of people who create a bunch of 100 people who want to play little characters like minions, and they go through an obstacle course, and the last person standing when the clock strikes 0 is the winner. You don't actually get anything other than just like cosmetic goodies. It's all just for funsies. But it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, sure, log on, it's free. And you can earn your little cosmetic things. I want to look like I'm from the Village People or something. But other than that, it's just a fun little game. So that's another kind of game where it didn't start out absolutely free, and there is like a little cash shop, but It's just cosmetics. There's no pay to win kind of thing.
Right. I think
that's kind of what we did with Quintet. Is we started out with the base game being free and then a $5 DLC, which unlocked 5 ships, and then we made the whole thing free.
Which there is arguments that that's a demo, but that's a whole different thing.
Well, no, we were using the shareware model. That was the idea, is that you could use the base game. Anyone launching in the base game could launch a ship in the base game, and then anyone could join them. And then for the 5 ships that were part of the DLC, you had to own the ship to be able to launch one of those 5, but then anyone could join you after that.
Fair enough.
Okay.
There's still some muddiness, and I see arguments towards that being a demo, but that's not podcast topic, and I would very quickly make that podcast topic.
Wait, what? What would you say that topic would be called? Let me add it to the list.
What the hell is a demo?
What the hell is a demo? Okay, hang on. Let me add that to the growing list of topics.
my counter on that was that you could experience the entire game for free and never pay for the DLC. But now that the entire game is free, you can access everything with it regardless.
Okay, well, yeah. Now that those figurative 4 ships have sailed.
The 5, yeah.
The whole I mean, regardless.
There are 5 ships.
There are 5 fucking ships. To make that reference.
But there's only 3 lights.
No notes.
I'm honestly surprised none of us have mentioned Final Fantasy 14, which might be even a better. Good.
Again, that's because we ram ourselves face first into the argument of, is an MMO trial a free-to-play game, or is this a demo?
Well, I think it's... I don't know. I mean...
Apologies.
No. I mean, there's something we said.
It's a fair question.
It's a fair question. You're getting a large chunk of the game for no money, but part of the game is gated behind money. So does that make that game a demo? Or does that make that...
Yeah, it is done very intentionally to convince you to try out some of the game and then pay in fully, which is what demos are for and were for. Is this a demo?
Well, I think that the difference is the demo usually is not the full program. If I may be technical about it, the demo is usually a slice of the program. It doesn't include all the content in the installation.
I would say that's what you would call a freemium kind of game model.
So, what we've established throughout the 18 minutes of this podcast is that the English language is a nightmare, and I hate it. Semantics will be the death of me.
Yeah, it's hard to be accurate when the terminology is not just changing, but the landscape of the industry is changing.
With all due respect, we're 20 minutes in, we're still hung up on semantics.
I'm not entirely sure. That's fine.
I'm not entirely sure what the podcast topic even is at this point, but I'm just going to roll with this.
I mean, we were going to talk about free-to-play games, but that's an interesting turn. Is a free-to-play game a demo? I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're going with.
Brian.
What?
Correction, Brian. And when we had this written down, we had it written down as free games and mechanics. So that was my tack going into this was going to be about the mechanisms of free.
So the full title that Julie wrote down for us: free-to-play mechanics beyond monetization and how we feel about them. That's the full sentence.
Okay, I can work with that.
So beyond monetization, what is okay? Okay, so let's look at the first thing: mechanics. We were just talking about that. So with something like Final Fantasy 14, is that considered? I think that falls under free-to-play mechanics because you can play a lot of it for free before paying for it. So So it is free to play for a certain amount of time. Yes,
Yeah.
is the limiting factor. So I guess that kind of mechanic works. But I guess it also could kind of be called a demo, really. But that's not what we're talking about.
Yes.
But it could be a demo. But I guess what we should focus on more is the mechanics. So like
I think first of all, I'm gonna congratulate all four of us on becoming naturalized residents of Square One. And second of all,
oh man, I blame myself.
If the question is
it's my fault. It's
mechanics that aren't monetization in free-to-play games. Question one is, what are free-to-play mechanics that aren't related to monetization? Because I'm gonna be honest, that's the one part that I'm struggling with, because a free-to-play game is a game that is free-to-play. Ergo, it is monetized differently from a standard buy-in game. That's the only semantic difference.
So how do you get beyond
unless I'm missing something?
Unless
I'm missing something.
I don't know. How do you get beyond monetization? Do you even get is not the whole point of all this stuff to monetize the user? So how do you get beyond that? Do you want to get beyond that? I must admit, I too am a little confused by the phrase beyond monetization. Like maybe beyond monetization means, is there something else besides monetization that people do in free to play games to get people to play more? And I guess like an example of that could be like, I've been recently playing Diablo, the mobile Diablo. Can't remember the goddamn name right now. Diablo
Immortal?
Yes, thank you. And I haven't paid a cent for it, but it does things like, daily login rewards, and it gives you little things here and there for doing quests that you could buy, but it gives you it gives you less of them. It's like, I want to craft this bow. You can't craft this bow until you grind this and this and this. Okay, I'll spend 50 hours grinding that. Or you could just pay $10. Nope, I want to do the grinding. So maybe that's what we're talking about. The kind of grind that replaces paying for things. Could that be what beyond monetization means?
A couple of it. Now, granted, like I said, I got this from another source, but
right. I'm not, Julie. I'm not putting all this on you. I'm not putting all this on you. But it's in the phrase, so we should talk about it.
I have an example.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying.
Go ahead.
A common thing in MMOs, free to play or not, is unlike a single player game. When I'm playing through Skyrim for the umpteenth time, like I am now, because my Switch 2 has a much bigger screen. My sister said, "Oh, how many times have you finished this?" I said, "Once." "How long have you been playing it?" "Thousands of hours."
Finish?
Finish? Yeah. It's like, which side do you side with in the Civil War and whatnot. But the thing is, in a lot of games that are MMOs, whether they're free to play or not, the issue becomes whether not just monetization, but how do you keep them playing the game? And part of the issue, one thing they do is mudflation, and Dr. Richard Bartle has written a whole bunch of things about that. Now, that can be done well, or it can be done really irritatingly, like World of Warcraft.
Explain to the audience what that word means, please.
For those of you who don't know, here's a good example: is in World of Warcraft, back in the day when my sister and I were both playing, they had this thing where you got what I would call the Uber weapon of Uberness, the big thing everybody's was working toward, and it was like this named weapon, and you had to work toward getting all these little different parts and jewels you can set inside it. And then by the time you got all that done, they came out with another section of their new game and said, Okay, well, forget all that. Now you can start over again with another thing. And mudflation becomes when you have a purple or like an epic weapon, and all of a sudden your DLC comes out, and that purple weapon now becomes a green weapon and useless, and it's called mudflation, not my term. And I got it from Dr. Bartle. And that can be a mechanic that's not meant toward monetization, but meant toward keeping somebody playing the game. And there's no microtransactions involved in it. It's just one of these things. How do you keep them from going to another game? It's like a carrot and a stick kind of thing. And that's just, and you could say, well, it's designed to, it's the end result is monetization in a way, because it's meant to keep people playing the game, because otherwise, no matter how many whales you have, and I'm all for whales because they keep a free to play game free, but if the numbers go down, doesn't matter how well you've monetized your game, it's going to fail. So it's everything ultimately is linked with free to play. But that's one of the things, is how would the game mechanics that keep them coming back? And that was, to me, one of the prime examples, the whole carrot and the stick thing. That the bad side to that is if you have somebody hit with mudflation, and this is actually what got my sister to quit playing the game, because she said, I chased after your carrot, and I finally got the carrot. And as soon as I got the carrot, you said, I'm going to dangle another carrot out there. And she said, I'm not going through this again. And it was like, see you later. Bye.
Yeah. I haven't run into that myself personally, honestly. Thank goodness. I haven't played a lot of MMOs, but the ones I've played, they've never really done that to me. Most of the time they're just adding stuff on top of what's already there. Like, it's not making anything else useless. Like, whenever a new Lord of the Rings expansion comes out, it's not like the bow I have is gone down from green to blue or whatever. So Have
you ever gotten an email like I did once? There's this Mad magazine back in the day when I was in high school, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and it had a picture of a dog on the cover, and somebody, and I'm thinking it's since become a meme, somebody holding a gun to the dog's head, and it says, buy this magazine or we'll shoot this dog. And I actually got an email like that once from one of these games. It's like, log back in or we're going to delete all your characters. And recently, I understand why they do this in some games where all the player housing is instanced, but it's, even though it's instanced, there's limited space, right? Yeah. And this is the way they do it in Final Fantasy. And they sent us all out this email that said, log back in and we'll delete your house, and it's like half of us, we're not going back. Go ahead, delete away. But, it's one of these threat things. Or in other games, well, like my sister, and she thinks it's Scrabble, but was these free-to-play version of a Scrabble kind of thing where they have ads in the game. And then I've had things where it's like personalized ads in the game, which is like scary garbage when you're playing on site. But the problem is she had this free-to-play game, word game, on her phone, and it would download the ads, and ultimately it bricked her phone, and the phone became useless.
No.
And so this is another thing. It wasn't designed to get money out of her, except for in the sense that it was designed to get money by, well, it's like an old-time friend I'd long ago since lost track of, but she always used to say, in relation to something like Facebook, Meta, that if you're not paying something, you are the product. And that was a case like that where She
That's
was
true.
the product, and she paid for it with her phone. She got a new phone out of it, but still, it's just that's the point. It's another predatory practice, and it wasn't directly aimed at monetization, but there's always going to be something that's connected with monetization somehow, even if it's there to keep you playing the game. It's so they'll long run make money off of somebody.
No, I hear you. So let me ask you guys this then, since we're talking about free-to-play games and the mechanics. Has there been a free-to-play game that has worked for you that convinced you to buy in? To whatever the mechanic is, whatever the mechanic was. Was there a free-to-play game that has worked for you guys?
Sure.
Spaz, go ahead.
Yeah, Star Trek Online did that for me. When I still played MMOs. I don't play MMOs anymore. But when I did, Star Trek Online was the one that did that for me.
Yeah. That's a good example.
Even have a lifetime account, even though I don't use it.
Well, hey, maybe someday you'll go back and it'll be there waiting for you.
Guild Wars 2.
Oh, that's right. That's a good
Free to play, but you got to one of the new expansions. I was enjoying myself so much, and they had this expansion called Heart of Thorns. And I said, wow, it was different because it made it different. It was not just in a jungle like everything's on this one lane. But if you think back to some of the early Star Trek movies, where one of the reason Khan ultimately got defeated was because of his two-dimensional thinking. And this game is Heart of Thorns. That expansion was like on 3 dimensions. The jungle had multiple levels, and that's why I said, "Wow, I'm really enjoying myself. I'm going to buy into this." So
yeah, that's another good example. I'm going to give an example. I'm not particularly proud of it, but Strike Fighters on mobile Strike Fighters. You can play the game for free, but they sell packs with planes and maps for like $5. I've bought quite a few. I have bought many of those packs because I want that tornado. I want that North Atlantic map. I want to take off from an aircraft carrier. That kind of thing. So as much as it pains me to admit it, and because I'm sad that the PC version got abandoned, I gotta say I really enjoy mobile Strike Fighters, and I think even though it's not the best free-to-play mechanic, it works for me. Because each $5 thing is kind of like a mini expansion, because you're getting a few planes and you're getting a map and yada yada yada. So yeah, that's one that's worked for me personally. If you guys haven't played that, by the way, it's actually pretty darn good. I kind of hate to admit it because I'm still mad about the PC version, but the mobile version is actually really good. Really, really good. So that is one that worked for me. Jacob, do you have one?
Sorry, I didn't get the first words out, but I presume you're asking me.
Yes, apologies. Do you know of a free-to-play game that actually worked for you and you invested money in it?
Not. Okay, so I would have to bring up recent ones because
that's fine.
Technically, Star Trek Online was one of them 10 years ago, and Guild Wars 2 was one of them when it was still a buy-in game. So back then there wasn't a free-to-play option. There isn't really that much. I tend to, when a game is free. First of all, the most free-to-play games are from genres I at least somewhat dislike. Multiplayer shooters and other such nonsense. There is one I got into recently. It's called Mecha Break. It's the insane mech hero shooter thing, which I'm enjoying somewhat. And I did. Basically, they had like a like an intro package of, spend a $5 and you'll get some extra stuff at the beginning and one of the rebuyable mechs. I got one of those, and the end result was me thinking it was serviceable. Not much to say. It's I don't think it's particularly remarkable because I'm just not the sort of person to spend $5 million on free-to-play games, because I would rather just play a different game at that point.
That's fair.
Fair.
That's completely fair.
Like, I would just rather shell out however much cash is for an actual game. God knows I have a Steam wish list that is holy crap on a motorbike long, and I'm sure there's something in there in that same price range. So I just don't really feel a need to dive into microtransactions in 98% of cases.
Right. I'm going to say another one that worked for me. It's a Steam game called Infinite Dungeon Crawler. It's a isometric dungeon game that you can play a bit of it for free, and then you can unlock leveling past level 4 or whatever for $2, or $3. But they also have expansions like the Swampy Isles and the Desert Wasteland and things that are also $3 each that go on sale pretty often. And I like the game enough that I've been buying the expansions as they go on sale, because I want to support development of this really fun game. It's also on mobile. It's quite good on mobile, by the way. But that's another one that's worked for me. Do you guys have any other examples of a game?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I do. It's a Russian game.
Oh,
started out as a Russian game.
Oh,
Tetris.
Wait
Tetris was invented by a Russian, and it had to be smuggled out of Russia.
Right.
But on Switch, you can play Tetris 99 for free, for nothing, forever.
Oh.
However, there are other games that, as Tetris Evolution, I believe Tetris Effect. I'm sorry, and it's just this marvelous game with this marvelous music, and there are competitive parts of it, the parts that aren't competitive, and we had watched a dramatization about the history of Tetris. I had no idea where it came from. I said, really? A Russian? And back when the history of it. And I said, I haven't played Tetris since I was knee-high to a mutant. And so I went out there to Switch, and I got Tetris 99, and I played it for free. And I said, wow, this is really kind of fun. It's and the Tetris Effect is for those of you who have not heard of the Tetris Effect, is they say, it's never happened to me, if you play enough, you'll eventually start to see, things in real life as you go through your life and say, oh, well, this would fit nice in here, and this would fit nice in there.
I can confirm that does happen.
Yeah, it does.
And it absolutely happens.
I have never gotten to that point, but if it weren't not for Tetris 99, I probably wouldn't have bought Tetris Effect and enjoyed it so much. And so that's another, it's not meant to be monetization, but I just enjoyed it so much. And they said, hey, it's not like someone say, hey, little girl in a dark alley, first game free. It's not like one of those. It's just like, well, if you really want to just play some Tetris by yourself, here you go. But if you really want some competition, and you don't have to play competitive, there's a lot of different versions, and that's one of my games, and I bought into it just because I enjoyed it so much.
Now, to be clear, Tetris 99 and Tetris Effect are different developers.
Yeah, completely separate games.
Completely separate games. Yeah, completely separate games. Tetris Effect has as the studio lead Mizuguchi, the guy who made Rez and a whole bunch of other games like Luminous. That's the other big one that he made for the DS. And then moved on to make Tetris Effect.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Tetris 99 is a completely different product. But the point kind of stands. Like, you played a free version of a thing, and then it made you buy into a paid version of a thing. Even though it wasn't the same exact thing, it's kind of the same thing, but not really, but sort of. Yeah,
Another good example.
Go ahead.
Okay, another good example is on mobile, what Kairosoft does with their games. A lot of their games have a free version.
Yes.
And then it's a mostly feature complete, but ad supported version. And then they have what they call the DX version, the deluxe version, which is the paid version.
Yeah.
And that has the ads removed. And if there are microtransactions, usually those are removed. Or if they are in, they're just optional.
Right.
In the deluxe version. And I think it's a good way to let people test out the game and see whether or not the gameplay is for them.
Yeah, well, I gotta say about them, they are confident in their designs that they can do that. I feel like they're so confident in, in
oh yeah,
in the games they make that, they totally feel like they could do that, which is great.
Yeah, and all their PC ports as well are basically the deluxe versions.
Yeah,
so if you're paying for it on Steam, you're getting the full version.
I'll give another example that's about to work. Once my budget resets next month. On mobile, they have a version of Sid Meier's Railroads that is absolutely terrific. It's so good. And you pay like $10 to unlock the full version. So yeah, I'm gonna do that because it's really good. It's really, really good. So yeah, it's kind of scary how it can work on different platforms. Like, it doesn't work for me very well on Steam, but on mobile, if I really like a game, boom, I will spend the $5 or the $10 to unlock it. But again, is this a demo? Kind of, sort of, a little bit. So, were there any games before we wrap up? Were there any games where you tried them and the free to play model did not work for you and you bounced off of it?
Oh, I got a good example.
Oh, go for it.
I got a really good example.
Go for it.
Yep. There was a browser-based MMO some years back, Battlestar Galactica Online.
Oh, no.
I was going to bring that one up.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
well, because I was a very, very active player during its beta. And when they introduced the cash shop, it immediately became pay to win. And a lot of us left as a direct result of that. Because when I say pay to win, you had basic ammo, which was free, and then you had ammo that you could buy for your primary weapons. So the Raptor's machine guns, for example, you had ammo you could buy that was significantly better than the basic version. It became pay to win overnight.
Jeez.
And it wrecked the community.
Oh.
Because a lot of us were not happy with how pay to win and just egregious it was.
Didn't the game shut down not too much long after that?
I don't remember how many years they were going after that. I had already checked out at that point.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I don't think it lasted too long after that switch. Because you weren't the only one to leave. I think people left en masse. I think people left in droves.
People left en masse because of that. Because they were pushing people to buy into the larger ships. Most people used fighters because they were effectively free to use. But the moment you stepped up into a larger tier ship, you had to pay for fuel every fight.
What?
You had to have enough fuel. Yeah, you had to pay for the fuel, the jump fuel that you used for every fight. So you had to have enough fuel on hand or you couldn't participate with that ship. As I said, it was egregious.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Probably.
God. I'm trying to think of one myself, and I'm having a tough time. I think I done a decent job of avoiding toxic free-to-play mechanics. I don't think I can think of one for myself personally. Jacob or Julie, do you guys have one that where the free-to-play made you bounce off?
Well, my
Well-
example was yoinked from under me, so Julie, carry on.
That's fine.
Well, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
And there was a game when you go back a long time ago, back when computers were young, called Dungeon Keeper. And somebody came out with another version of this that was
Can you,
air quotes free to play.
the game
go
from
ahead.
the game from Bullfrog, Dungeon Keeper? The one from the mid-90s?
Yeah, I think that's it. Hang on.
Yeah, I loved both of those games. If that's the one you're talking about, yeah, they were both great.
I am looking for the person who, and this was the designer of the new game was Peter Molyneux. So
Oh,
and
yeah, of course that guy.
and the thing is, when I was going to play this, because I saw this and, I kind of liked some of his other games. And yes, the developer was the Bullfrog Productions, but the new version of the game that came out, and there was this mobile version.
Oh,
And it was, the thing is like, oh yes, your little goblins can dig out this little room for your dungeon, but it's gonna take 20 real world hours.
for God's sakes!
And you can pay them real world money to work faster. Finding out about that kind of mechanic is what chased me away from it altogether.
Pay or wait mechanics is what they call it.
Pay to wait.
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Pay to wait.
It's
Yeah.
pay or wait.
Here, wait, yeah, because
Pay or wait. Yeah.
those Dungeon Keeper games were so good. The two originals, they were so good. It makes me sad that the legacy is kind of maligned with this.
Well, there's a lot of mobile games that are like that, pay or wait.
Yeah, I tend to avoid those. I've run into them in my new tablet with my new tablet. I like, this game got good reviews. I'll try it. Oh, you could build this base in 10 hours, or you could pay $5 to build it now. How about uninstall?
Yeah.
Just go away. Because there's so many games. It's like, that's the beauty of it, though. To end on a positive note, there are so many games where if you find a game that doesn't have a mechanic you like, it's so easy to find something else that does. It's so, even on Steam or whatever, there's just so many. That's a part of the beauty of gaming right now, is there's just so many options. And it's nice. It's great to hear that some folks do it right, and when some folks do it wrong, you can move on and find something else. That is absolutely lovely. Does anyone have anything else to say about free to play stuff before we wrap up?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I think we're covered.
All right. Yeah, that was a whew. That I've got to admit that was kind of my fault. I came in with a different expectation than what actually happened. It's because I didn't look at the whole thing. So that's my fault. But I think it still ended up being a good show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Next week on the show, we are going to talk about mods. This is a suggestion from Chris. We're going to talk about our favorite mods, not just for space games, but other games. And because mods are great, mods I could talk about the Free Space 2 modding community for a million years, and I probably will a little bit. But we're going to talk about our favorite mods next week, because there's so many of them, and there are a lot of really good ones. So I'm sure we'll come up with a good list. And tomorrow we should be returning to Star Valor. It's called Star Valor, yeah. Yeah, Star Valor. My brain today, man. So have a great day, everyone. Be safe, be well, take care of each other. Please Get vaccinated if you haven't already. Get your shots, wear your masks. Just go see your doctor. Get checked out if you haven't already, because you never know. You know, I know it's scary, but like it's good to know if you got a thing so you could treat that thing. And the earlier you find whatever that thing is, usually the better. Most of the time, a lot of times. So just take care of yourself. Thank you as always to our patrons who help pay for things like Restream, which is expensive. Don't forget, I've launched a new thing called Retro Dogfight. As I record this, I think the next episode will be out next week on the 1st of August. And don't forget to wear your